Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time. So today, we're not going to talk about the future of AI. Instead, we're going to look at its present, and we're going to do it through the really sharp lens of political economist Grace Blakeley. What she does is take the incredible, on-the-ground investigative work from books like Karen Hao's Empire of AI to completely reframe the conversation we're all having about this technology. And look, let's be super clear here. This isn't just a summary of Halo's book. We're using those powerful findings to really get a handle on Blakeley's core idea, which is that if you want to truly understand AI, you have to completely shift your perspective on what you think it even is. Okay, so let's get right into that shift. So much of the public conversation about AI is just saturated with these big, speculative, almost science fiction ideas, right? But what Blakeley argues is that this whole focus is a massive distraction. It makes us stare off at some distant horizon, while the real story, a story about power, labor, and resources, is happening right under our noses. This slide just lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got the mainstream view, all these debates about rogue superintelligence and long-term AI safety. And then, on the other side, there's Blakeley's reframe, which yanks our attention right back down to earth. She's focused on the material reality of who owns this stuff, whose hidden work actually powers it, and what it costs our planet today. So, if we follow Blakeley's thinking, it means we have to look past the shiny interfaces and the clever chatbots. It means we have to start investigating the hidden architecture, the enormous global machine that's actually making all of this AI stuff possible in the first place. And that just begs the question, doesn't it? What are these hidden systems? What's the engine running under the hood of the AI tools that so many of us are starting to use every single day? Well, let's pull back the curtain on three really key systems that Blakeley points to. First up is the human system, what some people call ghost work. This is a global network of workers, often in places like Kenya or Venezuela, doing the incredibly tedious, low-paid job of cleaning up data and filtering out horrible content, just so these AI models can seem smart and automated. And the human reality behind that system is it's profound. Just listen to these words from Oscarina Veronica Fuentes Anaya, a data worker in Venezuela. She absolutely nails that feeling of being an invisible, unprotected, and ultimately disposable part of this multi-billion-dollar industry. But that human cost is only one piece of the puzzle. There is also a staggering environmental cost. You see, the cloud isn't this weightless, magical thing. It's made of gigantic, very real data centers that are consuming unbelievable amounts of real-world resources, water, energy, and minerals. Just try to wrap your head around this number for a second. By 2027, the AI industry could be using 1.7 trillion gallons of freshwater a year. To put that into perspective, that's nearly half of what the entire United Kingdom uses. And this isn't some abstract figure. It's a real drain on global resources, often taken from places that are already facing water shortages. So Blakeley argues that these huge human and environmental costs lead us straight to a third, absolutely crucial system, the concentration of power. Because, let's face it, building and training these massive AI models is so ridiculously expensive that only a tiny, tiny handful of corporations on the entire planet can actually afford to do. Now, the really important thing to get here is that this isn't just about business competition. This concentration of resources creates this powerful feedback loop. It basically suffocates any alternative, less resource-hungry AI research. It lets a few companies set all the rules for everybody else, and it allows them to control the story we all hear, often hiding the very costs we've just been talking about. So how do you connect all these threads, the exploited labor, the extracted resources, the concentrated power? Well, Blakeley points to a really powerful metaphor that comes out of Karen Hao's work. This idea asks us to stop looking at AI development as just another new technology, and to start seeing it as something else entirely, as an empire. Okay, so what in the world does that even mean, to call this thing an empire? Well, in this view, an empire is defined by its actions. It seizes resources like data and water, it depends on a global low-wage workforce, and it pushes a really powerful story, an ideology of progress and inevitability, to justify its own growth. And according to this framework, this empire runs on a pretty clear three-step logic. Step 1, extract resources from all over the globe. Step 2, exploit labor to turn those resources into something valuable. And Step 3, project an ideology,
A big, grand story about progress that makes the first two steps seem not just acceptable, but necessary. When you start to see AI through this imperial lens, it really does change the entire conversation. The whole point of the empire metaphor isn't to call anyone evil. It's a tool, a way to shift our focus. So instead of getting trapped in that dead-end debate of is AI good or bad, it forces us to look at the structure itself and to ask a much more interesting question. Who actually benefits from this whole setup? And that really brings us to the absolute heart of Blakeley's reframing, and this fantastic, thought-provoking question from researcher Ria Kaluri. Maybe the most important question we can ask about any new AI tool has nothing to do with its features. Maybe the real question is about power. Does this thing concentrate power in the hands of a few, or does it help spread it out among the many? For the full long-form deep dive into this topic and its ideas, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy these explainers, please subscribe and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.